Greetings and salutations. This is your host, Kimrah Minuty, and you're joining me today for another episode of Gaia Soars. This week, I just wanted to cover a few things like the purpose of this podcast. Gaia Soars is about practical application of spirituality so you can become your best self. I'm an alchemical spiritualist in that I use a mixed bag of tricks to accomplish my goals and to aid my clients. The tools of my trade include candles, counseling, crystals, a fuck ton of sage, Reiki, herbs, oils, feathers, tarot cards, and good old-fashioned intuition, amongst other things. Part of this journey is gaining self-awareness, which means you want to do a lot of research to figure out how to improve, empower, and balance yourself. Each week, I'll be sharing different ways to smooth your way through what is known as the awakening or ascension process, and just this fascinating time in human history and expansion. These tips will range from super basic to super esoteric, and you just use what resonates with you. So, what is resonance? I like to describe resonance as a sensation of comprehension, recognition, awareness, and knowing. Often, when you encounter individuals in the physical realm that were part of your reality prior to this life, you will encounter a high level of resonance, which can be categorized under any number of physical symptoms. Some of the most common are crying and release, dizziness, feelings of intense, overwhelming elation, instant connection, goosebumps, gyrations in the solar plexus or heart chakra. Sometimes you may need to sit down or lay down from the intensity of the sensation depending on the strength of your resonance with the particular situation. You can also have less intense versions of this resonance from conversations and when you listen to podcasts or watch movies that cause you to feel that this is not your first exposure to this information. My goal here on Gaia Soars is to connect with you, the listener, my other self, my earth family, to give you tools you can use in your everyday life to help you be open to the wonder and magic of this existence. Viewed, of course, from the perspective of your divine higher self. Now this week, I decided to draw cards from the Indigo Angel Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue and Charles Virtue. And the question I posed the cards was, with all this uncertainty, anxiety, and frustration in the air, what is the message for the collective to hold on to so we can all continue to ascend? How can we rise like the phoenix out of the ashes of despair and disease to frame a new reality for ourselves and future generations? You might wonder why I would ask such a grandiose question, possibly, but I find that it's extremely important to set the intention for where we want to go. It is our responsibility as the dreamers of this new reality to dream a new dream. And who better to guide us than our future and higher divine selves to lead us on the path of which we want to go. So I thought it was really important to frame this intention because we're entering the age of Aquarius at this exact moment. And there are astrological transits that are impacting the entire collective on such a massive level that it's impossible for us not to have these conversations, which is why I'm here on Magazine Radio speaking to you on Gaia Soars so that we can all soar together, because we were made to do that. We were meant to do that, excuse me. So it's not just a matter of the collective rising, it's that as each individual rises, the entire collective rises. And so I pulled those cards, and this week I decided to get the cards, like I said, from the Indigo Angel Oracle card deck, because originally when I came on my spiritual journey, I resonated with the Indigo Starseed group, and that's how I came to further understand more about my purpose and my mission here on the planet. Now you might be wondering, do I still subscribe to that Starseed mentality? And it's not that I don't subscribe to it anymore. It's that I simply don't subscribe to very many labels because I don't feel that they're necessary when we're all united in harmony and love. And so I try to focus more on what the intention is, which is, can I be loving? Can I be courageous? Can I be truthful? Can I be my most authentic self? As opposed to, am I this? Am I that? Did I come from here? Am I trying to leave the planet? No, I came to this planet to help the people on this planet so that everybody can raise their vibration. I'm not leaving. All is well. When I shuffle off this mortal coil, we can talk about where I go next. But until then, I'm here to stay. I'm here to talk to you guys. And I'm here to offer you some practical tips, tricks, and tools to help you along this process as you awaken, as you ascend. If you're listening to me right now, chances are you're already on the awakening journey. And chances are you've already had some not so normal things happen to you that made you think, maybe I need to explore this further. And so as we go down these podcasts and as I interview different spiritual light workers in the community and different artists and musicians, perhaps one of the stories that you hear will resonate with you and you will gain a greater perspective and self-awareness of yourself and be able to affect a change in your life that you want. And if you don't, that's great too. Maybe you're just here chilling, listening to passing time and mopping the floor. That's great too. There's no judgment here. Do what you gotta do. Hopefully what you hear is resonating with you. So when we come back, I'll be looking at these cards and we can see what's in store for us. Thanks for joining me. I'm your host, Kimrah Minuty, and this is Gaia Soars. You're going to be listening to my favorite track by Ryan Hall called Hall Waves here on Magazine Radio. And we're back. That was Hall Waves by Ryan Hall, who's a musician out of USA. He's 32 years old, and Ryan states, "Music saved my life." But before we get into that too quickly, my name is Kimrah Minuty. I am your hostess with the mostest, and you're listening to Gaia Soars here on Magazine Radio. Ryan Hall, like I said, is a musician out of the USA. He's 32 years old. He plays the mandolin, the banjo, amongst other instruments. He stated that music saved his life. And I quote, "Simultaneously, music has brought me to the darkest depths of my soul. Music has shown me the most loving, compassionate parts of humanity and reality, while also bringing me into the experiences of darkness, loss, and confusion. Always, music became a place for me to alchemize any of these experiences into the truest expression that I believe I can share with the world. I love music for its ability to connect people as a universal language. As a nomadic seeker of truth, I hope my sonic soundscapes and singing bring any kind of joy to anyone, or even helps one tap into their dark side and embrace it for the beauty it can bring by recognizing the light in the dark in all of us. I also love my family, friends, dog, Green Day, Jimmy Buffett, Grateful Dead, Modest Mouse, OTT, endless lists of art, skateboarding, snowboarding, smoking weed, and getting drunk in beautiful places, learning, growing, teaching, and sharing this life with all the wonderful people and possibilities we are gifted with in this human experience. I can be crude, lewd, rude, and nude, all while attempting a state of grace and evolution. Take it all as you will. This is me, Ryan Hall. Thank you. I love you, and I truly hope you enjoy the music." Well, Ryan, I know that our audience will feel what you're putting down. Thank you for sharing your music with the world. And now, we'll be taking a look at the first card this week. So, card number 1 was, once again, from the Angel Oracle card deck by Doreen Virtue and Charles Virtue. Learn something new. Now, let me just preface this by saying that this is not your typical tarot card deck. This would be an oracle card deck. So, there's not like a set of cups and pentacles and all that other jazz. This is really just something that you go to fine-tune your intuition. So the card says, learn something new. There is new information waiting for you. This card asks you to initiate or finish studies on a topic or topics that interest you. When this card comes up, it is often a calling to start or complete something that you already know you should be doing. Let this be your confirmation that the time for this endeavor is now. This card can also guide you to meditate and have a conversation with the universe. Any question can be asked and will be answered if you'll listen with an open mind and heart. Trust the feedback you receive, write it down, and consider teaching this information to others. As an indigo, you can easily recognize true divine guidance as it comes to you. Even if you feel that what you're learning won't serve you in the future, please trust that the angels are guiding you for a specific reason that you may not necessarily need to know at this point in your life. Have fun and try something new. So, what a great card. What could you learn while you're at home if you're stuck at home? What have you been wanting to try? Maybe you're being asked to learn something new about yourself. Maybe you don't know what you like. This is an opportunity to explore your heart and what it has been wanting to do. I know that for a long time, I wanted to find a way to share the messages that I'd been channeling through my poetry. And finally, I was able to express my poetry through a book, and thankfully that led me to you. so that I could be on this podcast sharing my truth with you so that you can feel the courage to stand in your own authenticity and learn something new about yourself and something new about your ability to cope under really insane circumstances. Okay? What are some other things that you might want to learn something new about? Or maybe you're learning something new that you didn't want to learn. What's a way for you to now cope with what you're learning? Okay? Have you implemented ways to deal with whatever emotions might be coming up as you learn something new about yourself on the quest to gain greater understanding of your heart space? Let's take a moment and do a breathing exercise. I find that we don't realize how much trapped trauma sits in our body, in our bellies, when we are out and about and dealing with life and being buffeted by the energies that are currently in the air. I want you to take a moment to simply sit in a comfortable position. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. Breathe in the light and love of yourself, your divine self. And breathe out all of the horror and sadness and depression, anxiety, and overwhelm. Breathe in the love, the support of God, the universe, the angels. Breathe out all of the stress, the overwhelm, the uncertainty. Find yourself laying in a liquid pool of love. Imagine it to just be a beautiful, lazy river of golden, glorious love. You're swirling around in it like a beautiful lotus blossom. And as you breathe, all your cares and worries flow. And as you hear my voice, and as you're breathing in the love, and you're feeling this liquid love flow over you, relaxing you, soothing you, easing into the creaks and crevices of sorrow and trauma that you didn't even realize were there. As this lovely, gentle, kind, liquid love finds its way into your heart, and into your body, it just dissolves these patches of sorrow and trauma, and you just blow them away. Just I release you with love. I forgive myself and I forgive whoever hurt me. Thank you for the experience that brought my attention so that I could expand around this hurt. And I love myself for being able to accept this pain and pour love on it so that I can heal. For as I heal, others are healed also. Take a few more steadying breaths. And gather that feeling of floating and bliss, and gather it into your body, and Put your body in this bubble of bliss. Imbue every cell in your body with this bliss and speak to your body and say, body of, repeat your name here. I love you. Every single cell. I love you. You are loved and supported and one with the universe. And what you express in love will be returned to you in love. And so my body is supported and loved from the most microcosmic cellular level to the highest macrocosmic cellular. For we are all interconnected together. And as you keep your love flowing in a calm, beautiful bubble, swirling easily around you, come back into this room. Come back into your awareness, but don't lose that calm. Don't lose it. You don't have to. Bring that in. And we'll take a moment. And we'll talk about the second card. Our second card is Believe in Yourself. When you receive this card, the angels want you to see yourself and your potential the way they do. They view you as an unlimited person with infinite potential. Right now, the most important thing you can do is realize this for yourself. Ask the angels to release any doubt or fear you have about your life and your path. Those doubts are part of being an indigo because you're strongly affected by negative energy. By believing in yourself, you're telling the angels, the universe, God, everyone, that you wish to live up to your full potential in this life, and they will take immediate action to guide you accordingly. I think now would be a great moment to take a quick break and listen to this great track by Leo, an oil hack called Jupiter au téléphone. That's in French. In English, it's Jupiter au téléphone. Jupiter on the phone? This is Kimrah Minuty, and you're listening to Gaia Soars here on Magazine Radio. Okay, we're back. That was LEO and Oil Hack playing Jupiter au Téléphone. My name is Kimrah Minuty, and this is Gaia Soars here on Magazine Radio. One of the aims of this show and this station is to spotlight different light workers in their various capacities around the world. A little later on in the show, I'll be telling you more about Elio and his work here on Gaia's planet. Music is a very important part of how humanity connects, and if any of the music on the show strikes a chord in you, please support this station and the artists that are featured on our shows. I'll be having show links available on my webpage, www.silverliningspirals.com, and on the magazine.today radio page. Now, back to the cards. Our next card is self-care. Make sure you're not giving to the point of creating lack in your own life. As an indigo, you feel compassion for the world because of your divine mission. As a result, you sometimes become generous to a fault. You may not see this as a problem. However, this card is telling you that you must be aware of your own needs in life. Make sure that you're doing enough for yourself so that you don't suffer due to your generosity. Allow yourself to feel how great it is to have your needs met and trust that those around you are guided by their angels to ensure that all of theirs are taken care of too. You are here on earth to help, but you're not everyone's problem solver. The greatest gift you could give others is to ask their angels to awaken and guide them to their unique purpose. Awesome. So let's talk about some self-care tips. What is self-care and why is it important? And why do people talk about it so much? And who cares, right? Self-care is paying attention to what your body needs. Paying attention to what you need emotionally, physically, spiritually, understanding what the pain in your body is, understanding how energy moves, and doing something about it, okay? Perhaps in a disempowered space, in a previous incarnation, or just even earlier on in your existence and experience in this lifetime, you gave all of your heart to everyone else to the point that your life fell apart, or you found yourself in a place where you didn't have enough for yourself. Well, we're urging you, myself included, to fill your cup first so that you're more able to affect the change that you so wish to be. How can you do this? What are some self-care practices that you can implement quickly and easily? One of the easiest things that I find is to light a candle. And if having a lit flame makes you nervous, I encourage you to take a look at that first and foremost. But secondly, find a safe way to keep your flames burning when you're working so that you can add a little more light into your home and thereby relax yourself. Candlelight is naturally relaxing. So if you just light a candle as you cook, as you clean, as you do work on your computer, as you go about your day, you will find yourself being less tense and a little more relaxed. As I mentioned earlier in the show, I have a fuck ton of sage. I keep a gigantic bundle in my car, and I keep a gigantic bundle in my house. Reason being that sage helps to clear dense energy. It's also antibacterial, and if you're emotionally sensitive, especially after an argument, it helps to clear all of the dense energy that just came up in the midst of the argument, right? So if you imagine that negative energy is just like bouncing around your house after an argument, Do you want it trapped in your home, or do you want it to go on its way so that clarity and love and peace and focus can find its way back into your home, right? So this is what I personally use sage for. I use it to clear my home. I use it to clear myself. I do smudging of my body, of my phone, sometimes of my Facebook feed if I feel like there's too much foolishness going on there. You can use sage in a bunch of different ways and be extremely creative with it. I sage my property. I sage my vehicles. When my parents have stuff, I'll sage their cars. I sage inside of cabinets, closets, all types of stuff. And then I'll open all the windows and I'll put all the fans on and I'll let all of this trapped energy just flow out of the house, and everybody feels better and everybody's more harmonious. Now, this is something that you should be doing really relatively often, on a weekly basis for the whole house, but possibly on a daily basis for you, depending on your level of sensitivity. Me, personally, my level of sensitivity is such that I can't go, maybe 6 hours without some sage. Like, sometimes it depends, it depends what kind of a day that I'm having, what kind of things I need to examine in my life, because I'm not perfect. I have some heavy shit in my life that I still need to work on, and so I take the time to look at it. So when something is brought to my attention that is heavy, this is how I deal with it, okay? Another thing that you can do is meditate. And I know a lot of people will be like, oh, everybody says you should meditate. I can't meditate. I can't still my mind. Well, first off, stop saying can't. Second off, just say haven't figured it out yet, because you want to make it easier for yourself to figure it out, right? Let's start talking in a way that'll help us figure things out. So part of your self-care is what you say to yourself. Can you make your transition into the person that you want to be a little bit easier? Yes, you can, by editing the things that you say to yourself. So if you're one of those people who's like, I can't do that, it's so impossible, nothing ever goes my way, that's the story of my life. Well, that's been your experience, but if you say those things every day, you're going to continue that experience. So let's take a moment to rewrite some of the things that you say to yourself and gift yourself the blessing of a brighter perspective. Just be like, well, maybe I didn't do so great this time, but I know that the next time I'll definitely do it better, and I'll do it faster, and it'll be easier next time, and I won't be so stressed out because I've figured this out before. It's not my first rodeo. I know what this looks like. I'm truly capable. I can do this. So part of self-care is also your self-talk. What do you say to yourself? Because if you're always beating yourself up, it's kind of hard to get out of bed, other people can criticize you, but you're your own worst critic. So don't limit yourself by criticizing yourself. Love on yourself, okay? That's our third card. But I want you to know that while I was doing this reading, we had a fourth bonus card pop out. So I'm really excited to share it with you. But first, I wanted to take a moment and talk to you about one of our light workers and musicians that is featured on today's show. His name is Ellie Omer, and Ellie is tuned in deeply with the movement and accompanies his music and the emotion that is created from it. His music vibrates in the colors of orange and blue. He travels all over the world accompanying with his sounds teachers of yoga, meditation, and ecstatic dance gatherings. Through his conscious and intuitive music, Elio is holding the space with his soulful soundscapes, raising bodies, spirits, and minds in a very unique way. using voices recorded during his travels all around the world, electronic beats, blissful soundscapes, and warm improvisations with his acoustic guitar, starting from scratch and building sound by sound to create a unique soundtrack, an experience of surrendering to the feelings, a complete musical letting go for a deeper connection between souls and senses. Just get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because I will be interviewing Elio coming up in a future podcast. So if you're digging his vibe, check him out on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Elio.omeir or on Instagram at instagram.com/ELIEOMEIR or on YouTube at youtube.com/user/the Ellie Man. Now let's just take a great quick break, you guys, and listen to some more music by Elio. My name is Kimrah Minuty, and you're listening to Gaia Soars here on Magazine Radio. And this is Lady Khalifa by Elio. I'll see you on the other side.
Vous les hommes, vous êtes capables de faire l'amour même sous un bombardement. Au contraire, pour une femme, ça signifie la paix. La paix, la paix, la paix. Quand on a fait l'amour, tu m'as fait peur. Quand on a fait l'amour, tu m'as fait peur. Vous les hommes, vous êtes capables de faire l'amour même sous un bombardement. Au contraire, pour une femme, ça signifie la paix. La paix, la paix.
Il ferait mieux de boire ce verre de vin, c'est plus important. mieux de boire ce verre de vin, c'est important.
La paix. Quand on a fait l'amour, tu m'as fait peur. Pas comme ça. Non, comme avant. Relève, relève. Encore un peu plus haut. Pas comme ça. Non, comme avant. Relève, relève. Encore un peu plus haut. 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 Encore un peu plus Mais il y a autre chose que j'ai compris cette nuit avec toi. Je te regardais. Et je pensais, il a beau dire que je suis différente des autres, c'est de la blague. Je suis comme toutes les autres, pire peut-être. Eh bien vois-tu, quand j'ai découvert que j'étais comme les autres, ça m'a rendue folle de joie.
Okay, guys, we're back. This is Lady Khalifa by Ellie Omer. You can find this awesome video that goes with this track on YouTube, and I'll post the link on magazine.today for you guys to enjoy, along with the pictures of the cards that were in our reading today. Okay? Before I get into our last and bonus card, I wanted to take a few more minutes to talk about self-care and the importance of self-care. Sometimes, when you're coming from a place of deep negative emotion, which I have been in, self-care is as simple as eating breakfast, taking a shower, brushing your teeth. There is a level of self-neglect that happens to individuals who are depressed or extremely anxious that keeps them from being able to care for themselves on a deeply meaningful level. And so, if you ever have dealt with depression, I want you to know first and foremost that it's okay. You can get through this. And please reach out for help if you feel trapped or afraid or unable to cope. Someone is willing to help you. Please don't let yourself fall into the illusion that you are not loved, because part of being depressed is believing that you are unworthy of love and not deserving of it. And I want you to know that you are deserving of love and you are deserving of this life. And so simple things, when you're coming from that sort of a place, or even if you're not, maybe you're coming from somewhere else, but some simple things are just showering and eating a good meal, a hot meal, not just eating a granola bar or uncooked raw stuff because that's what was easiest for you because you couldn't be bothered to nourish yourself because you feel so bad. You know, perhaps getting some crystals. Some people like crystals. Some people like herbs. They like to use different fresh incenses to help with aromatherapy to change the mood in their home. You can use oils even to do that. You can bathe in Epsom salt. That's another great self-care thing to do. Take Epsom salt baths. They'll help your bones feel less stressed and strained. It'll help reset your body to a more alkaline and neutral point so that you're able to receive more blessings, more healing, more love in your life, because that's all we want for you. So with that being said, let's go into our bonus card. I feel it's very apropos after what I said. Our bonus card is Apologize, our fourth and final card for this week's episode of Gaia Soars. This card asks you to take the high road in this situation and apologize to either the people involved, if applicable, or yourself for the things that have been bothering you. Your honesty and fiery indigo nature may inadvertently lead you to say things that might hurt others' feelings. Saying that you're sorry is one of the best ways to let the pressure off yourself and diffuse tensions. Even if you perceive that you've done nothing wrong, the angels ask you to apologize in general for any disappointment or frustration that arose. Be sure to have an honest discussion with yourself or the person about the underlying feelings that led to the conflict. The angels certainly don't want you to cover up your true emotions. Know that while saying you're sorry may not be easy or even seem fair, in this situation, it's being asked of you because it serves a higher purpose. This is a lesson for you to put aside your pride and do something for the greater good. Oof. So let's take a moment and do something in the vein of apologizing and forgiveness, okay? Why don't we try that? There is a Hawaiian practice of reconciliation and forgiveness called the Ho'oponopono. The Hawaiian word translates into English simply as correction, but it really means something deeper than that. The Ho'oponopono asks you to apologize from the perspective of the Divine Parent. We say, forgive me, I'm sorry, I love you, thank you, and you repeat these things to allow yourself to embody a sense of compassion. Now, I may not have said those in the correct order, but I find that saying it in the order that comes up for you and just interchanging the different words so that you can get a sense of what is unbalanced in you that perhaps you need to apologize to yourself for, that's a really powerful thing. Ryan Hall mentioned something earlier where he said his music allows you to go into your darkness and see the light that came from it, that comes from being in that shadow place. The opportunity to pour love on a situation that didn't get love the first time, which is why you were traumatized. And even if you don't feel like you're traumatized, whenever you're hurt, nobody likes to be hurt. So maybe it doesn't have to be something like a huge clinical trauma, right? If you want to split hairs and semantics. But we're talking about an emotion of hurt. Everybody wants an apology when they've been hurt. And so maybe you can't apologize to the person who hurt you, or you can't receive the apology from them that you need. But maybe you can write it down. Maybe you can write that apology out and, fold it up and burn it in a safe way and release it. Let it go so that you're not beholden to that guilt of an apology. And then forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for whatever it was that made you feel that way, and free yourself from that hurt so that you can move forward and grow and expand. So, I think now would be a great time to take a listen to a track called Share by Ryan Bennett Hall. You can find Ryan's music on www.facebook.com/Coach Buck Mandolin. That's COACHBUCKMANDOLIN or on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/Ryan-Hall-872-725-379. And you will find a man with a mullet on that picture. If you have arrived on that mullet, you've made it to the correct place. Later on in the show, you'll hear a track by Ryan called I Have a Mullet. Without further ado, here's Share by Ryan Bennett Hall. Hope you enjoy this music I'm sharing with you here on Magazine Radio. This is Kimrah Minuty on Gaia Soars. Back in a flash.
Share some love and laugh along the way. Fly through your mind like an eagle, soaring over high desert plains. They tried to make medicine illegal. We're gonna fight for what keeps us Walking on this tightrope, it takes balance. Just looking deep and you will find your strength. This world can be cold, hard and calloused, but look at all the light that we bring. There's a reason that we all are here today. Share some love, laugh along the way.
That was Share by Ryan Bennett Hall. So, as much fun as we have been having this week, having these conversations, it is time to recap this week's tips, tricks, and tools here on Gaia Soars. Number 1, learn something new. Why? Because you have time and there is something your heart has been yearning to do, and now is the time to do that. Let's make lemonade out of lemons. Let's find a way to create something beautiful out of this trying time. Number 2, use a variety of tools to help you get through your emotional overwhelm and anxiety, like meditation, dance, drawing, painting, singing, yoga, exercise, sex, breath work. Feel into what your body and heart are asking for and do that. Sometimes, guys, light work is 2 long naps on a hard emotional day. So if you need to rest, honor your body and do that, please. Don't fight your body and what you're being asked to do. You're being called home to your heart space to listen and pay attention and to tend to your soul and your soul joys. So let's do that. Number 3, believe in yourself. You have everything you need in your heart to evidence the change you want. Ask for signs and be open to new opportunities that may come up to you. Be discerning of whether these things are in alignment with your highest good. Have some faith that you can overcome whatever it is that has you feeling stuck. Accept that whatever it is temporary, so you can make space for something new. Right now, lightning fast manifestation is capable because we have the energies that are supporting our change. If we embrace our change, then we will be supported in the growth that is in alignment with serving our highest self and thereby serving the collective. You're being called to serve. So take good care of yourself, which leads us right into number 4. Self-care is key, guys. So what does self-care look like? Taking baths, lighting candles, saging yourself, not looking at negative shows or music or other things like pornography that could influence your psyche when there's already so much negativity in the air. increase the amount of positive things you do or say for yourself. Please remember that your mind is a garden. Do you want to plant weeds or do you want to plant beautiful things? Now, if you want to plant marijuana, that's different. That's a different type of weed. But with that being said, honestly, what are you feeding your mind, your heart, and your body? What can you do to shift any one of these areas so that you can make your life a little bit easier, so you can enjoy your life more? What do you say to yourself? What is your positive self-talk? Okay? Number 5, apologize to yourself for not even knowing what the hell self-care is, or for being mad or angry or overwhelmed or depressed. Whatever feeling that you're feeling right now, guys and girls and in-betweens, whatever you're feeling, that's okay. But I want you to know that you don't have to let the feeling take over your whole life or your whole day. Let it flow past you and through you like water. Instead of being reactionary to what is happening in your life, try to look at it like a detached observer from the outside. Look at it and go, wow, what is all of this emotion really about? Because in your emotion lies the true power of what you can achieve. So don't be afraid of your negative emotion. Embrace it so that you can turn it, transmute it into the pure positive love that you truly are. Okay? With that being said, I would like to end this show on a positive affirmation to focus our intentions in a manner that will help you and me assimilate these tools into our conscious reality for ourselves and for the global conscious collective. Alright guys, so sit up straight or lay down in whatever way you feel comfortable. Get into just a quick comfortable position. And we're going to take 4 deep breaths. Repeat after me. I know I am right where I am meant to be. I will speak my truth in the purest form of love and clarity. For in being my true divine nature, I will influence and evidence the change I so desperately seek for myself and humanity. I am allowing myself the ability to change right now. I don't have to wait. I can choose to be better and better every day. This doesn't have to be hard. I can make it so easy. Just easier to get better and better every day. And as I focus on the ease of the love that is flowing to me and finding its way to me, regardless of whether or not I think I'm doing it right, the love is flowing to me. And so it is, and so it must be. Thank you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I love you. I hope you have enjoyed another episode of Gaia Soars. Until next week, I'll leave you with another great track by Ryan Hall called Isis, followed by one of my favorites by him also, I Have a Mullet, You are listening to Gaia Soars here on Magazine Radio. Love, light, and blessings through your week. Until next time, signing off, this is Kimrah Minuty. Have a wonderful day.
Thank